Well, we're in conversation with the new Attorney General, Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, sir. Congratulations on this appointment. And of course, as you take over as Attorney General, second time as law officer for the government, what exactly will be the key parameters, reforms, etc. on your mind?
First of all, I must tell you, I have also seen it on TV like you, and you are from the media, so you know it. I haven't received any letter, but it seems to be in the air, is all I can say. I think the first priority of the Attorney General is to see the nature of litigation in the Supreme Court. There is huge amount of litigation in the Supreme Court on behalf of the government, as it is in all courts. First step should be to try and streamline, to try and see that petty matters are not carried right up to the Supreme Court. Because somebody doesn't want to take a decision. So the usual approach I have seen in the last so many years is to let all the courts take a decision. Let the first court, second court, high court, everybody take a decision. I think that call, if the bureaucrats don't want to take, the office of the AG and his team should take that call and filter out or weed out litigation which is avoidable. That's the first step I think which should happen. There is a huge backlog of cases. Time is precious in courts. Whatever one can do, they should do their bit in that behalf. There is no magic wand which will wipe out crores of cases. That's for the Chief Justice to devise procedures. It's for the government to remove redundant laws. But as far as the lawyers are concerned, basically AG is an advisor and a lawyer for the government. So his team should try and see that his litigation is reduced as much as it can be. And second is, as I said earlier, litigation between government departments, wholly avoidable. Everybody's been talking about it. I don't know how much I can do about it, but I would try to emphasize upon government departments to resolve it across the table, because it's from one hand to another hand. That's about all. Wholly owned by Government of India, then why should there be litigation? So that kind of thing, I think.
Mr. Rohatgi, a sense from the previous government was a lot of unnecessary litigation, unnecessarily dragging cases to court. What do you get from the new government, the outlook really? Do you expect this government to actually settle issues at every step of the way? Is that a sense you're getting?
See, firstly, let's not blame only the last government, because I have been seeing for the last 30 years, 40 years that I have been in litigation, that government litigation has gone on.
Sure.
And basically it has gone on because nobody wants to call the shots. Nobody wants to say leave it to the court will decide. That's not a correct approach. But as I said, this government seems to be in business. Mr. Modi has set the trend. Everybody seems to be business-like, hard-working. Seems to be a lot of synergy and energy around. And the law minister and the finance minister are well known to us. They're my friends, we've been at the bar together. So I'm sure one can, sit together and try and take decisions as fast as as fast as possible, not to drag issues. And whatever decision you take, or the government takes, say on this retrospective amendment that I have been hearing every TV channel saying, whatever decision the government takes, it will be subject to judicial review. And whatever is the judicial review, it should be done. And there's nothing to be scared about. Why you can't put things under the carpet. Take honest decisions, bold decisions, and let them be tested by the court. What's the problem?
But there is a sense that probably corporate India versus the government, the divide has gotten wider in recent years due to a lot of unnecessarily tax tussles maybe, or arbitration. When you talk about the biggest names, Vodafone, Reliance Industries, how are you looking to solve these issues, and are these challenges as you step in as Attorney General really?
Yeah, there are a large number of challenges. These challenges do relate to the economy, but basically it's the Government of India which has to take a call, and whatever call they take, whether it is retrospective amendment or this or that, obviously I will back it up in the court. But if my advice is taken, obviously the best thing is to try and resolve or negotiate an issue across the table. If you can resolve it, nothing like it. So I hope the government will.
Mr. Rohatgi,
It's too early to say. It's just been 2 days. You can't answer hundreds of questions today.
what about judicial overreach? That is something that you've spoken about in the past as well. Is that something that we need to look at very closely here in India and curb that to a large extent if needed?
See, you can't have any generalization about judicial overreach and all that, but there are many reasons why it happens. If the government doesn't act, or there is some semi-paralysis in the government, decisions are not taken, people are running around from pillar to post, obviously go to court. Court is the last resort. But if the government is to act and decisions are taken, then obviously the court will allow them to take decisions rather than the court taking a decision. The court kind of moves in when there is a vacuum and nobody is acting. The court is obliged to, give relief to a citizen. What do you do? You say that.
So before I let you go, one final question. Of course, we did see former Solicitor General mention as he was exiting that political pressure probably played party pooper to a lot of his decisions.
I also saw that interview. Let me tell you, I was there for 5 years in an NDA coalition. I never felt any pressure whatsoever. And I don't think this is really an issue. And if they did feel pressure, they were private lawyers. If they felt pressure or uneasiness, they should have either said it aloud or done something about it or complained to the government or quit. You see, we are private lawyers who have come for a stint to the government to do our best for the government. You are not coming in for money because you're going to lose a hell of a lot of money because you're doing government work. But if you do that, then what is there to be afraid of? If you don't like it, leave it.
Fair point, Mr. Rohatgi. All the best for the road ahead. Thank you, sir.